Before we start going into drawing croquis of different types and making this one more stylized, there are a few things you need to understand. Okay, number one, the head is the unit that we use, and remember there is something called a balance line. Okay, now this balance line that you are seeing is the line that falls vertical on the ground the figure stands on, and it passes through the clavicle. You know, at the base of your neck, you can all feel it. There is a small pit formed by the collarbones. Now, this pit that we're seeing at the base of your neck is called a clavicle, and the clavicle is from where we have a vertical line dropping, which is the balance line. Now, what is a balance line? A balance line is, like I said, it's an imaginary line that drops from the clavicle vertically on the ground the body is standing on. The importance of the balance line is that if the body is freestanding, which means it is not bending, it is not leaning on something, if it is freestanding in whatever pose it might be, this balance line will fall somewhere between the 2 feet. Okay, somewhere between the 2 feet. Remember that. It might not fall in the center of the 2 feet, but it will definitely fall somewhere between these 2 feet if it's a standing figure, not bending, not leaning. So these are some rules that will ensure that your figure always looks normal in the sense of its positioning. Okay, now when we come to drawing different poses, when a pose happens, what are we talking about? We are talking about the shifting of the body weight. So all of you can stand in front of the mirror and have a look at it. If you put the moment you have a pose, usually you'll find that the weight rests on one leg. So we might have one leg coming where it is, maybe here, and the other can go like that. Now the moment the leg position shifts, the body weight will be on this leg. The moment you bring this leg out, when you do that, the hip rises. Excuse me. The hip rises, comes out, and the weight shifts. The body shifts, and you can see what happens. So when the body weight shifts, here I am drawing the shoulder line and the waistline and the hip line. Remember that the waist and hips are connected with the pelvis bone, but the upper body and the lower body are connected only with the spine. So when the weight shifts, if it shifts to one side, the one on which the body rests will always rise upward when the weight of the body rests on it. So hips will move upward okay. But these are things that naturally happen. Okay, the moment the weight rests on one side, the hip goes up and the waist also goes up, because both are connected with the pelvis bone, and then it comes in because the feet will rest on this side of the and this leg is going to move out. So what is happening here? The body weight has shifted, the body has also shifted. So note one thing very, very carefully, that the balance line is no longer in the center of the body, because the center of the body has now shifted. Okay, the center has shifted. So arm can go wherever it wants to. The shoulders can move independently of the hip and waist. It rest on the and so you could draw a fashion figure, but remember that the weight shifts, the hip goes up, and the center of the body shifts. So if you want to plot the center of the body, you have the navel here, which comes in the middle, and you have the center of the body moving. This is the balance line. This is the center front line. Remember that the center front line will not be the same as the balance line. So these are a few things that you should remember. Shoulders can move independently, are not related to how the hips are moving. Okay, so it is not connected to the hip movement. What is connected to the hip movement is the waist, hip, the knees, and the ankles, how the legs are positioned. All of it is connected. This part of the body. The upper part of the body is not connected to what is happening here. The head could be shifting, the head could be turned, doesn't necessarily have any connection with what is happening to the lower half of the body. Okay, remember this when you start doing the figure analysis, when you start looking at photographs of women and the body movement, you must start observing how the body is shifting every time the weight shifts from one side to another. So next we'll go into figure analysis, and I hope you understood and enjoyed the video, and see you in the classroom soon.